Hey everyone, in today's video, I'm going to explain how to become a better photographer. Hey David, I've started getting pretty serious about my photography, but I'd really like it to get better. I look at other people's work and I just see that it's kind of lacking. How do I improve my work? Okay, good question. There's a lot of different things that can help improve your work. There's not one magic bullet. The most important is going to be practice. Take your camera out every single day. If you have a digital camera, there's no reason not to. Force yourself to take pictures with it every single day. Even if it's only 1 or 3 or 5, take some photos. If you're into film and you have the ability to do it, it's really great to take a roll of film a day. If you can't, try to take a roll of film a week. That's about 6 photos a day, give or take. That's a pretty good number and will still give you the ability to practice every single day. They say practice makes perfect, and it is definitely a component in becoming a better photographer. Another thing to do is to look at what other photographers are doing. And I don't mean going on Instagram or Facebook or Google Plus or whatever, because those are kind of no man's lands. What I mean is get some good journals. National Geographic has amazing photography. I'm a huge fan of View Camera magazine. It's for large format. There's really amazing work in there. There's another really good one out of Canada called Photo Life, which I think is the best in-print photo magazine that I've found. It's really spectacular. The quality of images in that magazine is stunning, and the quality of the knowledge in the articles is really impressive as well. It's a very well done magazine. And there are a lot of others as well that are also really good. If you want to have a grungier, edgier look, zines, photography zines are a pretty good place to start. There's also a bunch of good online photo journals and magazines, which are really good for looking into. One other thing is, if you're on Facebook, there are a number of really good photography groups. I happen to be a huge fan of the large format photography group and the alternative photography techniques photography group. Another one, a private group I'm part of, is called Pentaxians, specifically for Pentax users. There are other private groups out there. And there are even far more photography groups. Let's Shoot Color Film is one of them. There's a slide film photography group. These are places where people can share some extremely good work. And even though they're a bit of a no man's land, those ones that I mentioned are, I think, some of the best photography groups on Facebook and consistently have a high level of quality images and knowledge sharing. Now, once you have an image that you like and you've seen someone else do it, it's like, wow, then you have to analyze that image. What structures did they use? How did they frame it? Rule of thirds, rule of quarters, rule of halves? Does it have a reflection in it? What's the lighting like? Is it high key, mid key, low key? Start looking at all of these elements that they're putting into their image. How did they use color? Is it black and white? How did they use tones and shades? How did they use detail? If there's a person in it, is the person looking at the camera or are they looking away? Image structure, image composition, photographic techniques, lighting, just really study how the professional photographers or the non-professionals who you really admire, what are they doing that makes their photography so good in your mind? The next thing you can do when you're out practicing is to have good practices. And I don't mean good practice events, but do things that are good. So for instance, before you take your picture, check the entire viewfinder for your frame. Is your dry erase board half hanging off the edge? No, great, then you're probably in pretty good shape. But when you actually look through your viewfinder, here's the person. What's going on behind them? If you're on a street taking a picture of a person, is there, in the kind of out of focus area, a garbage man dumping some garbage into a truck? That's really not going to be a good out of focus area. So check that. Also make sure that your framing is good. When you take the picture, are you cutting the person off right here by accident? So look through your viewfinder, check the whole scene. Make sure your composition is to your liking. Wait a couple extra seconds and take that picture so that you don't miss the opportunity to take it if it's one that you're able to compose. Learn the basic composition rules. If you want to make your photography better, learn what the rule of thirds is and how to use it. That's going to give you the ability to, on the fly, after practicing, take a bunch of pictures. Once you know, okay, the rule of thirds is thirds, and the intersections are places of interest, and the lines are places where things should be broken up. Once you really have learned how to use that, go out and shoot about half dozen rolls of film where every image is composed with the rule of thirds. That's really going to help ingrain it in your mind. Okay, here's this person. If I put them off on the side on this third line, now I have a whole bunch of open space over here, and if it's out of focus, that could be some interesting stuff going on back here. And it just kind of makes a nice image because now the person's not front and center with these kind of barely there out of focus areas on their sides. So get to learn the rules and practice with them. Make sure that you know how to use your gear well. If you have a film camera, practice using it without any film. Practice focusing. Figure out how to set it to the hyperfocal distance quickly so that if you're out doing street photography, you can set it to the hyperfocal distance and take a picture and not have to worry about your subject being out of focus because the whole entirety of the universe and time is in focus at your hyperfocal distance. So learn how to use your gear so that it becomes second nature when you're out trying to take photos with it. And really the last thing, and I said this at the beginning, is just practice. Practice. Keep taking photos. Find excuses to take photos. Don't wake up and say, well, I can't take my camera with me today. I don't have anything to take photos of. Give yourself an assignment. Today, I'm going to take 6 photos that are composed with the rule of thirds. Today, I'm going to take 6 photos of people who I don't know and try not to get caught. Today, I'm going to go out and I'm going to take pictures of 6 statues in my city. Or today, I'm going to go out and I'm going to find a nice car. I'm going to take 6 pictures of it from different angles. Make up assignments for yourself and do them. That sort of thing will give you the practice you need and help you to become more creative in your work.